Hey YouTube, it's Dimitri, and today I just wanted to talk quickly about the DFW Quaint Quant Conference here. It was a blast. It turned out 10 times better than I could have ever expected, to be honest with you guys. Let me just give you the rundown, give you some summaries, some excitement, some pieces. So first off here, planning this thing was challenging. It was a lot harder than I thought. There's another YouTuber that came to, Ryan O'Connell, I believe. Shout out to him. And like he mentioned, he's like, I'm just shocked. There's people here, right? It's always nerve-wracking when you're like a YouTuber or someone on the internet, right? I have like 40,000 subscribers. A lot of you, most of you probably don't even sit in the US. And then you're like, hey, can everybody show up to a physical location? Like, it's just, you get ghosted. Like I did a meetup in New York City, which I thought I would be like bombarded. A bunch of people. I was there like on a Saturday. I think it was like a Friday or Saturday. I was there for work. I had some weird scheduling. Maybe it was like a Wednesday. I don't know. But I came and I was like, I'm going to be there. And I had like 4 or 5 students from like NYU and a few other schools. I think like, I think it was like Rutgers, someone else, maybe Stevens. They came and they chatted. There's like 4 of us sitting at Blue Bottle Coffee outside of Bryant Park. If you know, that's, I love going there when I'm in New York. And I'm just sitting there having coffee, eating a croissant. And there's like, 4 students just sitting here talking. That was it. Like, I post like I'm going to do something. No one shows up. So yeah, it was amazing. We had, I think like 42 people show up. One of the hardest things for me too, is the planning side, is we have the office. We're using the corporate office. We have all these little conference rooms. The biggest conference room holds like 12 to 16 people, maybe 18 if we're pushing it. So you can't have a conference with 18 people. So you have to start thinking about, should you do multiple tracks? And if you do multiple tracks, then you have to have all these speakers lined up, right? You can't do, like I don't know, say like 4-hour conference or 5-hour conference. You need, at least 4 to 5 speakers per track. You'd have like 8 to 10 people. And then that leads you to the struggle of having to get good quality speakers here. So we ended up limiting the number of tickets down to 50. We had an open area. I cleared it all out. Shout out to Agora, all the amazing staff there, as well as paying for the conference and sponsoring the conference. And, we had to rent chairs, and we bought a projector, and they even bought like an 85-inch TV just in case we needed that. We had to do all this planning and scrambling and trying to put it all together, but it all came together beautifully. And I think there was a total of 34 non-Agora employees and like another 6 to 8 Agora employees on top of that, which were helping with tickets and, making sure things are running smoothly and answering questions and helping people find stuff around the office here, right? You can't have people just wandering the office either. We have compliance things we have to deal with. So we had to make sure offices were locked, things were put away, this whole thing. But that was great. It was great to have enough people. It was interesting. We had great questions as well. So a shout out to Zachary Creighton as well. He's a recruiter. He came to the event. He had some interesting questions. And then the audience as well, the other members I didn't know, they had awesome questions as well. And there's a little bit of back and forth between the interviewers and the candidates at the ends of them. So the interactions were good, I felt. I sent out a survey too if you went to the event. So hopefully you guys can give me feedback. Agora is already really excited. And they're like, it turned out awesome. Let's do it again next year. So I think we'll be doing another one again next year. I'll have to figure all that out as well. And then the speaker lineup was top notch. I can't even, thank anyone who presented enough for this. I know I thanked many of you, which is fine, but I don't think you really get this either. It is hard to find good speakers. And the way I found speakers for this was literally just going on YouTube and making a video like this. And then I went on to LinkedIn and I shared the video or made a couple posts. And I was like, hey, I'm looking for speakers. We're in DFW. It'd be great if people showed up. And the presentations were absolutely amazing. They were probably some of the best presentations I have seen. And I have gone to a couple other ones, quant conferences, or even like banker specific conferences. The reason the presentations were so good is they were very technical and very specific. And they were all experts in their own spaces. So I think one key takeaway for many of you, even when you go to like conferences and everything, is you're not going to be an expert at everything. We had a few different presentations. One was on missing data. They're on the credit side. So my skill set and their skill set aligned great. There were some interesting points, things I didn't even think about presenting. And I was like, oh, this is really good. So that presentation was great as well. But then there's some on like single asset Monte Carlo engines. Again, I am kind of coping with this at work and setting, systems up and data process, things I don't want to deal with, but I have to think about them as well. So that was interesting presentation on that end. And then we had the career panel, which I hosted, and we had 2 experts from the field here, industry here. Again, one was coming more from the data science side. So they shared insights and thoughts and perspectives that I don't have. Like, I don't come from that side. I don't see that perspective they have. The other person was a head of model development at one of the banks. Again, I could relate with a lot of what they talked about here. Again, our skill sets aligned. And then the other two candidates was one talking on quantum finance. Can't say too much about that on the personal side here, but their expertise, like, out of the park compared to my expertise in anything related to this. They were presenting very, very interesting topics about quantums, what makes a quant, what not makes a quant, the skill sets, the rigor, what actually is, quantum and quantum computing. And it's not just like an algorithm. You can't run quantum on a standard computer. I learned a ton about it, and now I'm really excited. And the CEO of their fund, has a book. And so now I'm like, I want to get this book. It's $145 though, but I want to get this book and I want to read this book. Again, it's interesting, right? I don't do this. This is not really my specialty, my area of expertise. So it is very, very interesting, I think, for quants in general to learn from other quants in other areas that are different than theirs. And then the other presentation was natural language processing. And for many of you that know on this channel, I crap a lot on the data science community. I'm not a fan of data scientists. I think machine learning and actual models, so like neural networks, XGBoost, Lasso, ridge regression, like all these things, recurrent neural nets, all this teams. I think they're fascinating. I think they're very useful tools. I just think data scientists have kind of ruined them with the way they've been presented, and it's hand wavy. The presentation, though, on NLP was amazing. I was really blown away, to be honest with you guys. I was really excited to see the depth and the rigor. Again, Bennett, so shout out to Bennett, has a master's of science in Arabic linguistics. So part of the presentation was just talking about language, like understanding language and contexts, and the uniqueness that you don't get from a computer reading text. So it's understanding the dynamics of this, understanding the models aren't going to work in specific ways, but understanding how unique language is. And then talking about, there's an example of some obscure language, again, that there was not any training on. They used a large LLM model that somebody used to do this. This is like a paper or something. And the individual used this large LLM model, and they just did some fine tuning to do that, translation for that very specific language. Language structure was very similar to English, but it was able to pick up and kind of repeat and do these. It's interesting. It's very fascinating. This excites me because I don't work in this space, guys. This is not my area of expertise here. And then again, they're going down this rabbit hole. Again, they also have a master's from MIT and Harvard Medical School for biosciences and technology. Anyways, and then they start going into like the technical issues and topics and tokenizing and types of models and the strengths and weaknesses of these models in practice and application in finance, and why finance has all this deep, rich theory behind it. And you have to align the models with the theory. And then I don't remember who said it, but it was talking about, physicists often do, I think it was Mihail who was doing the quantum discussion, about how physicists are often really, really good quants because they have to be able to take math and stats and modeling and apply it to the real world. And that's what physicists do, right? You have to take math and stats and everything. It's kind of like, it reminds you of people like, I took this online boot camp and I had data and I slapped it all together. And like the tech industry does this consistently. It drives me nuts. There's no ethics. There's no morals. There's no understanding of the theory behind this. And then they were presenting and showing, like in finance, this is one of the critical pieces, is aligning the financial and economic theories to the math, to the modeling, drawing the insights and making critical decisions with this. So I learned a ton, guys. I was really excited. So the fact that I learned a ton was awesome. The downside of this is I felt like I didn't get enough time to network with everybody. So many of you came, you said hi, you shook my hand, we talked for, 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most. And then somebody else was standing next to you or behind you. And at lunch, I talked to a few people in greater depth, which was awesome. That was good use of my time. I might plan that in somehow. I was very tired by the end of it, just because there's the presentations and everything. And then I'm also running around making sure everybody's signed in, people have tickets, food, everyone's got food, for example. We don't have any other issues. The marketing staff is okay. Cameras are on, trying to make sure everything's buttoned up here. And I'm very introverted, which surprises probably many of you. So it really, really drains me, like to be in the office, for example. Being at conferences are exciting. I love to learn. Like, I don't have it with me. I wish I could show you. I had my notebook there that I was taking notes as the presentations were going, and I took notes on every single presentation, and I really got a lot out of the conference educationally. And we did some good networking. I met up with some old friends and people that I've known over the years. I met a bunch of you that were new friends. I actually recognized quite a few faces from our coffee meetup we did last fall. And so that just blows me away that you guys would actually show up to a coffee meetup last fall, remember it, follow me, and then come to a conference I just throw, and I don't know, 6 months, 7 months later, something like that. So the conference was amazing. Something I'm not happy about, I don't know if I'll put it up here or not. If you search Quaint Quant Conference, somebody has a fake one put up for like November, December, and they have it listed like at an apartment building. And even in the description, it says, Agora is sponsoring it. No, it's not. I don't know. I messaged marketing at work. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this? And they're like, I don't know. It's not us. So I'm like trying to make sure it's not our company. I don't know what's going on. Somebody has created a fake conference as well. So don't be fooled by that. But the conference was a blast. If you guys, I would encourage you guys to come next year. I can see it growing if it grows. I'm not sure where we're going to handle it or hold it or host the event. But it was fun. It was a lot of interesting people, a lot of really in-depth quantitative discussions and content, a lot of career discussions. Well, the career panel I thought was really good. I tried to get into the questions with everybody, like why you're not getting promoted, how you get promotions mid-level, senior level, how people that are running or heads of departments look at hiring, how they look at their biggest challenges and hurdles and struggles. So you can kind of see it from the senior level. It's not just me telling you, here on YouTube and everything. It's actually other people that have, different perspectives, different experience. But again, trying to show you career advice, not just for the students, but those that are going to be, junior, mid-level, maybe even a little bit senior level advice there. So anyways, I had a blast. Thank you for everybody who attended, who came, who presented, especially to all of those at Agora and anyone else who helped out putting chairs up and doing like marketing. We had a whole marketing thing with this. Anyways, big thank you guys. I hope to see you guys there next year.